welcome to the Fade First Dynasty Football Podcast. We are a sleeper league dynasty football team called the Lord of the Leagues. My name is Bassam. I am here today with my co-host Logan, and we're here to talk about our Lord of the Leagues Dynasty Football League. Logan's going to quickly tell you all about the rules, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, so quick rules here. We're a 12-team super flex, tight end premium 0.5. It's a start 10 with an 11 bench. So pretty deep league. Basically, with the PPR, with the tight end premium, it's an additional 0.5 for the tight ends, and then a point per catch for everyone else, basically. So if a tight end catches it, he gets 1.5 points in total. That's basically just a quick little breakdown of the rules. We have two taxi spots, a couple IR spots. The taxi spots are basically for when a rookie can go onto it and he'll stay on it for, I think we have it as a 2-year length. And then when that 2 years is up, you have to take him off the taxi. So it's pretty cool with the taxi. It's like a minor league system kind of. But yeah, that's kind of a brief rules for the Lord of the Leagues.
So, fairly standard for Dynasty PPR leagues with the tight end premium. Of course, the Superflex adds a nice component to it. And we want to get to the fun part. We want to talk about week one, go over our week one summary. Some of the matches were really interesting, some of them not so much. We'll start with my own match. I'm Base Mill, and I was against my boy Wayman. As you can see, his score of 150 to my 107, I was dominated. Now it's questionable about whether I'm actually trying to win this year or not.
We have to pass him.
What's up?
You're on week 2.
Oh, it's my bad. Yes, not Wayman. That's a projection of what's to come. I actually my other guy, Noah. Why don't you talk about the matchup now, Logan?
Yes, yeah. So in this matchup, Noah basically dominated, didn't have any issues. Bassam's team, he's kind of got more of the rebuild kind of setup here, which is no biggie, but yeah, Noah kind of just handled business, got done what he got done. So yeah, he kind of got a comfortable win there.
Yeah, I was very happy about Worthy. He looked incredible in his few touches. Not happy about Corum. I thought he would at least get a couple runs. But let's go into another match. Koenig and the Mollywhoppers.
Oh yeah, this one a little bit surprising. I really didn't have Koenig's team. Didn't think he was going to be able to put up this many points, but Darnold and Derek Carr had really good weeks for him, along with a couple other guys. But yeah, he kind of surprised. I had him losing. This was my upset of the week here.
The upset of the
Uh,
week? Was that
this
right?
was this was the upset of the week. I did have Michael winning, and Koenig pulled off the dub. So upset of the week here for Koenig. Big dub for him to start the year.
All right. Let's go into my match of the week, which was Rad Life Engineer and Ralzala. Now, uh, this match featured some pretty good quarterback play, CJ Stroud and Mahomes, and some pretty good running back play, Brees Hall and Saquon Barkley. You'll notice that one of the running backs didn't log too many points, and that was kind of the defining factor for this match. A 4-point victory. CMC not suiting up on Monday night ended up, of course, being Rad Life Engineer's downfall. Isn't that right, Logan?
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow, especially
Yeah.
because a lot of people thought CMC was gonna start. So that killed them. I mean, either way, 2 good weeks for both of these guys. I mean, they put over 150 points each. I mean, Rad Life just barely, but he still did it.
Yeah.
And that's without CMC starting. But both of these teams, I mean, are definitely more of the powerhouses in the league, and yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how both of these teams basically go through Cup. It will be a big, big one for Rami there.
Yeah, yeah. Um, both teams a little bit disappointed with the tight end play with the injury and the one reception, but Cooper Cup looked just like as good as he's ever been in that game.
Yeah, and
Against
that was out too.
mediocre secondary, but still, I mean, they forced him the ball.
Yep.
I think that moving forward, we'll see both of these two teams try and stay in the mix of it. But let's move on to the next match. The proud BJU alum and Sauron's Revenge. Logan, what do you think?
Oh yeah, this was another solid matchup. Proud BJU alum had a really good one. Jefferson and his other wide receiver, who is it? It's Marvin Harrison. Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
Harrison did
Jefferson had,
not do as expected.
no, I mean, Jefferson did good. Could have had better weeks for sure, but Marvin Harrison definitely had a tough one. But yeah, I mean, great week for Brady there. Tough one for David. Roma Dunze. That's a hard one. Had a couple other guys that didn't perform
How
like,
about
you probably
JMO
would.
dropping a
J-Mo,
career
yeah.
game? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, that was the best game he's ever had, and that's week one.
Yeah.
If J-Mo can keep that up, that's going to be a huge steal.
Now, Logan. Can I call you Logan or do you go by Rocky?
No, no, Logan's good.
Logan? So, Rocky, what happened with Higgins here? Why did he only drop how many? 0 points?
Yeah, Higgins was out, so that's a tough one. And Brady still put up 150 points, so that's pretty impressive. So yeah, I mean, Higgins has been in and out. He's always been like this kind of player that always gets hurt, kind of, it seems
Yeah.
like. So that's a tough one, and that could definitely hurt BJU alum here in the long run. So we'll see. But overall, I think it was pretty good week for both of these guys. Like I said, we'll see for Dave in the future how he does.
Love to hear it. Let's get back to our match of the week. We had Jay Stump and Bob Johns facing off in easily our closest match, decided by 2 points on the dot. 129 over to 127. What happened here? Why didn't Stump take it home? What
You
what
know,
what
I
what, what held him back?
what it really is for Stump here, it's going to be. I know again he's kind of more going for more of this kind of rebuild kind of team, but he still put up a really good score sheet here. What's going to hurt him is his running backs. He's obviously built it out, like I said, for that rebuild kind of
Yeah,
style. But
definitely.
Benson and Ray Davis are both guys that are, could definitely end up being good later on in the year. Anthony Richardson was a stud. Jaden Reed was a stud, but then you get to like London, he kind of had a bad week. Um, but really overall, he had some pretty good guys play. Not really much else to say. It was a pretty solid week for him. I like on the other side, I like Rice a lot, and
Oh, who
obviously
doesn't?
Puka Nakua. That's a tough one.
It looks like they did put him on IR. Is that right?
They did. Yep, he's on IR, and apparently, as you see there,
Yeah.
he could miss more than 4 games.
Oh boy.
So that will definitely hurt. That will definitely hurt.
Now, one thing that could hurt Bob Johns' team, unfortunately, he has both of the Miami running backs. He has
Ooh,
a Chain and Mostert.
ooh.
Mostert's out for tomorrow night's game, and a Chain's questionable. We're not still not sure if he's going to play. So,
So,
with a injury to Nakua and the two running backs hurt, I am nervous for you, Bob Johns. You're gonna have to make some quick moves if you want to be competing next week.
yeah, that's going to be big for Bob Johns there. He does have Chase Brown on his bench, so I do like that for kind of a running back filler or like a flex filler.
Well, it looks like
Um,
Madison can be a reasonable
yep.
flex filler
He,
as well. He has
yeah, he
some
for sure could.
options.
Yeah,
He has some
so
options.
yeah, he's got some good depth, so we'll kind of see how that works out for him. But
Yeah. He's got a
he kind of got.
statue Kirk Cousins in his superflex slot.
Yep.
Hopefully he plays a little closer to form.
Yep. I think he will take a little time, and yeah, yeah. I mean, overall, definitely a tough week for him with the injuries there, but I think he'll be good in the long term.
Absolutely. Now, Rocky, is it okay if I call you that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Logan, there's nothing you like talking about more than yourself. Why don't you tell us about uh, your team and my man Wayman's team?
Yeah. I mean, Wayman tried. That's all you can say. He gave a good effort, but I mean, he almost put up 150 points, but I still
Yeah, that's
smashed
pretty
him.
good. That's
It was
double what
good.
I put up.
Yeah, it was good. So, I mean, my team is just kind of really set for that win now. I got a couple young pieces in there, but I mean, it's just his thing that's gonna hurt him is his wide receivers and the tight end. Taysom Hill's solid, but he's got some work to do with the tight end and the wide receiver.
Hey, Wayman, if you need a tight end, get in touch with me.
Oh, we got a possible trade already happening here. That could
Now,
definitely be a spot.
Logan, tell us a little bit about the quarterback play on both sides.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Lamar, you can never really go wrong with Lamar. He's a stud. Jaden Daniels, he did good. He's a fantasy goat, but in that game, and just like a real life standpoint, he looked a little bit rough.
Now, Logan, I'm gonna have to interrupt you and submit our first fan quote of the week. So let me go ahead. And this was sent from one of our listeners.
I wish all Jaden Daniels drafters a very pleasant 2025 1.01.
Yeah, you might be able to guess who sent that one in.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
And I think that kind of sums up this match in a few words.
Yep.
So those are all of the matches for the week. Couple upsets, some very close ones, and we're on to week 2, which we will talk about more in the next episode because we need to talk about a big trade that happened in this league.
Uh,
Logan, how do
yeah.
you feel about the trade that we had recently?
Yeah, I really didn't like it. I think you're gonna see Kirk. He kind of did this first week here, not getting as much, not getting as much. I guess snap the snap count was like 72%, which I mean you kind of don't love to see that from a guy that you just traded Michael Pittman for, who is like the clear guy and for the Colts, and Anthony Richardson's chucking the ball. Yeah, that's just a tough one. I think Pittman's a beast, and I think Anthony Richardson will only get better. So I don't know. And with Brian Thomas Jr., the real wide receiver one for the
Oh,
Jags,
yeah,
who's on my team, of course, had a really good
of
week,
course.
and he looked like he was like Trevor Lawrence was locked in on him on that touchdown. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but maybe it works out. We'll see.
Maybe so. Um, let's go over some of our waiver claims. Of course, in this league, one of the fun rules I think is the noon 12:05 waivers that happen every day,
Yeah.
from Wednesday to Saturday, Sunday actually as well. And these waivers are fun because in the middle of your workday, for some of us, those of us that don't work overnight, making sure that people are living through the night. Thank you to those of us in those roles. We appreciate everything that you do. But to some of us, we get to check out the waivers on our lunch break. So Logan, go ahead and talk about some of these perhaps questionable or savvy waiver moves that were made.
Yes, yes. So Mr. Basemill here, Alec Pierce, Jeff Wilson for 16 apiece. I mean, I always liked Alec Pierce, and he finally had a big game.
Young kid, only
He's a young
24.
kid too, so we'll see how that kind of works with him.
Definitely
Uh,
bidding a little bit too much, though, you could say.
yeah, I think it was a little bit of an overbid, but I mean, hey, you got to get your guys. Jeff Wilson, the amount of times the guys in Miami are hurt, maybe again another a little bit of an overbid.
Definitely.
But hey, you know what? in these leagues with, the dynasty leagues, the waiver wire is a little bit more dry. So sometimes when you see a guy and you want to get him, you go get him.
I think that's underselling it. I think sometimes the waiver wire is very dry.
Yeah.
There'll be maybe like one or two big acquisitions, and in general, it'll be just like shuffling dog doo doo around.
Yeah,
On the
and
bottom of your bench, right?
for example, for that, like Malik Willis, he's never really been good, but like he's a quarterback. You're gonna probably be able to put him into the super flex, and hopefully he gets you maybe like a 10 points, gets a rushing touchdown or something, and for $10, it's worth it. I actually like your pick up there too, the Tyler Johnson, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he got 7 targets. I was gonna say he looked good in the game against the Lions there, 79 yards. So with Puka being out, maybe he gets more targets. We'll see.
Yeah, with Nakua hurt for 4, maybe more games, Tyler Johnson should be a huge part of the pass attack.
Yeah,
So we'll see what happens.
I dig it.
Lazard obviously had a lot of targets from.
I was
Aaron
surprised I
Rodgers.
only got it for $2 actually.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I had
You almost
spent all my money
yeah.
already.
Big spender.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I like Lazard. We'll see how Rodgers does. So
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so now we want to talk about. We're not going to do a full power rankings, but after week 1, we want to talk about our favorite teams of the week and moving forward. So I'll go first. I'm going to talk about a team that finished in the top 4. It was 2 girls, 1 cup. I think this team is poised incredibly well after the finishes of both Cooper Kupp and J.K. Dobbins, who I think kind of exceeded expectations. Of course, led by Patrick Mahomes. This was the one of the early players selected in the draft. Brees Hall, Kyron Williams. This team really has got it all. The only weak link after week 1 is the tight end play. And in a tight end premium league, of course, that matters. But if Rawls can put it together in the tight end position with a little bit of depth on his bench, he's got Javonte Williams, Bigsby, Zamir White. This is a team that can definitely make moves in this league. So that is my favorite team of the week.
I agree. That's a good team there. Good team there.
Rocky, what's your favorite team of the week?
My favorite is gonna be Noah Hamilton.
Oh,
I think he's got a great team. He made that trade. I mean, his wide receiver core, AJ Brown, Chase, Amon-Ra, Zay Flowers, and Pittman is pretty
What's not
insane.
to like?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's awesome. Kelsey probably expect a bounce back week, and then you have Stafford, and then I think he has Tua, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Stafford and Tua, who both will give pretty consistent weeks. I guess his biggest thing that he'll just have to watch is his running backs. I like James Cook a lot, but then it's Singletary who's kind of, we'll see. But yeah, overall, I really like his team. I think he's going to be one to watch for sure.
If this team can put together a running back 2, I think it can give any team a run for his money in this league.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, he might even be in a good position to try to trade for a running back, really.
Perhaps so.
He's got all those wide receivers, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, overall, really good week for everyone. I think it's going to be a pretty competitive league overall. It's going to be pretty competitive.
There's only 1 or 2 teams that seem like they don't want to win. Everyone else is going to make a big play for it at this point, at least. We'll see what happens in future weeks.
Yes, sir.
Our next segment is everyone's favorite segment. We're going to go over Logan's L of the week. Logan, who's your L for this week?
So, you guys could probably already guess, but it's the Molly Whoppers. You trade away Pittman, who, albeit didn't have a big week. But, I mean, Kirk, come on now. DK Metcalf looked bad. I mean, he drafted Swift kind of high. Well, not high, but he drafted Swift when he could have drafted a running back, and he didn't even start Swift. I don't know what was going on there through his thoughts. So he sat Swift, you know. And again, he didn't have a great week, but come on now. Hopkins had like a point. He had a tough week. Tough week.
Not his best week. Not his best week.
Gus Edwards, tough week. Andre Yoshibas, tough week.
Oh, actually, I thought he had a great week. Look at this.
Well,
100%
he had a good
snap
snap there. Yeah, so, but 5 points isn't the best, obviously, especially with Higgins out. You kind of hoped for him to do better.
That's a good point. If this is his like absolute ceiling in terms of at least routes run, and it didn't look great.
Joe Mixon, huge week though, so he should be happy with that. JT looked tough. Well, not
his
tough.
Running backs
tough.
Look good.
He just didn't have a JT kind of week. So,
That's fair to say.
But again, we'll see. He's got a good quarterback room, Murray and Hurts.
One of the best.
But yeah, I think he's just gotta. I think if I'm him, you gotta be putting where you put money and that stock into Swift. Let's start him. Let's start him. I want to see it.
If you don't want Swift, I could think of at least one team that could definitely use a running back.
Yep.
Maybe someone that we mentioned earlier in the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we have a few quotes from our fellow league mates that I want to play quickly, and some of them will be quick. One of them will not be quick, but I'll play them all anyways as we wrap up for the week. So here's the first one.
Aaron says, "We got a young team with some growing to do, but luckily with vets leading the way, our production is looking really good this year."
Logan, what do you think about that one?
I dig it. He's all in. He's ready to go.
He's ready. Things are looking good this year. I got a quote from Rami that I kind of alluded to earlier, but let's put it in his words.
Rami says, "Tell Rad Life Engineer I'd like to thank CMC as my MVP of the week."
So CMC was Rami's MVP of the week.
Wow, that's awesome. That's incredible.
Perhaps a little rivalry forming between those two.
Might be. I mean, it was a close game too, so I think we're gonna have to see that one again in the future for sure.
Definitely. Next year, once we start our rivalry week, I think that might be where things are headed.
Yep. Absolutely.
Our last quote is more of a speech from Dave. So I'm just going to let him speak for himself. He said a lot, so let's do it. Let's just go into it.
Gather round, because I got something to share with y'all. Now, I reckon most of you already know that this week didn't exactly end in a blaze of glory for my fantasy football team. Nope, we hit a bit of a rough patch, took a tumble, and came up a smidge short of that sweet... Nope, we hit a bit of a rough patch, took a tumble, and came up a smidge short of that sweet victory. But hey, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, ain't it? Let me tell you, I ain't one to mope and mop the floors with my tears. No, sir.
He's not going to mop the floor.
No, sir. We got plenty to look forward to, and you can bet your boots that I'm fixin' to come back stronger next week. You see, fantasy football is a lot like planting a garden. Sometimes the weather ain't on your side, or the critters come in and munch on your crops. But you don't just throw in the towel, do you? Nah, you roll up your sleeves, put on your best overalls, and get right back to tending that garden. This week might have given us a bad storm, but remember, friends, a storm only makes the soil richer. I got a feeling my team's gonna sprout some mighty fine numbers next time round. We got players ready to rebound, and I'm tweaking my lineup like a fiddler on a Friday night. So let's not dwell on what went wrong. Let's fix our eyes on what's ahead. There's still so much football left to play, and our best days are right over yonder. Next week, we're coming back with a vengeance, and I promise y'all, we're gonna be as tough and determined as a hound dog on a hunt. So here's to keeping our heads high, our spirits higher, and always believing that the next victory is just a play away. Thank y'all for listening, and let's gear up for a rocking good week in fantasy football.
Wow. Bravo.
Beautiful.
Bravo, David.
Beautiful.
Bravo.
Beautiful.
So, that summarizes week 1 for the Lord of the Leagues, a Dynasty Fantasy Football League, starting in its inaugural week for this season. Thank you for listening. We will be rolling these out weekly or so, along with myself, with Rocky Dino Logan, and perhaps a guest star or two as things continue. So, thanks again for coming by, and I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.